Today on Cletus Does Cookin, we're going to be making some nice homemade English muffins, smoked pork tenderloin, and some sous vide eggs to make the best breakfast sandwiches ever. Let's get on with it.
Looking scrumptious. Oh, we got a wonderful.
Obviously, I don't have the right side.
Oh, look at them chupacabra bones. They really turned out nice.
It's good to be back, fellas. Wouldn't be a Cletus video without me doing some stupid stuff at the start. Welcome back to Cletus Does Cookin. Today we're making something quite scrumptious, fellas. We're making some nice pork for our breakfast sandwiches. So let's get started here. First thing we want to do, you're going to add everything here to a little pot. And to that, we're going to add 2 cups of water, 2/3 of a cup of apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons of some pink Himalayan salt or kosher salt, whatever you prefer, 2 teaspoons of dried rosemary, 2 bay leaves. We're gonna add 2 cloves of garlic. We're just gonna crush them with our hand here. Release a little bit of that allicin from that, and also to quickly remove the little shell there. 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. We're gonna add a few peppercorns, just a little handful, much. People wanna see ya. People wanna see ya. Ooh! Hey, Coda Bear. How's it going? Half a teaspoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of that W sauce, and around half a teaspoon of mustard seeds. And to that, we're going to simply whisk it, and we're going to boil it a little bit, make sure everything is dissolved in there. All the flavors have gotten to know each other. I do apologize about the microphone setup. I don't have my usual wireless microphones as I switch phones, but they will be coming back soon. So for now, you just have to deal with the GoPro audio. So let's get this boiled up. Cletus Does Cookin! Woo! Now that it's kind of come up to a little bit of a simmer, or about to be coming up to a simmer rather, we're gonna add the juice and all this into here. And now that it's up to a simmer, all of our fruits are in there, and everything is nice and mixed together. We're actually going to turn off the heat, let it cool off by adding some ice cubes and leaving it outside, and then we'll be on to the next step. While we're at it, for the pork, let's make our rub that we're going to put on while we put on the smoker. Starting with 2 tablespoons of salt. Sorry, not 2 tablespoons. I meant to say a teaspoon or a tablespoon and a half. Anyway, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, about a teaspoon of garlic powder, maybe a little bit more for extra measure, teaspoon of onion powder, a little bit extra of dried rosemary, not too much, we already got a bunch in there, half teaspoon of dried mustard, about half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. You could change this around depending on your spice intolerance, or spice tolerance I should say. Depending on your spice tolerance, you may want to adjust that to your liking. I like a good amount of heat. And finally, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. And let's get this all mixed up. Now that's ready for tomorrow, but now let's move on to the next step of the pork. Oh, hey, Coda Bear. Oh, bears. Oh, yes. Now that we're here, this is all cooled down and ready to go. We're just going to dump it right onto the pork tenderloin, which we got 2 nice little pork tenderloins here, about 2 pounds, maybe give or take a little, but otherwise, well, that's perfect. Are you kidding me? And simply enough, we're just gonna close this and let it sit for about 12 to 18 hours. It could be less if you want, but you're not gonna get that nice brine in there. So we're gonna set this in the fridge for overnight. But now, let's get on with making our English muffins. Let's get ready to make some dough for the English muffins. You're gonna get 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. To that, you're gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of instant activation yeast, and as well as a 1/4 teaspoon of some more salt. You're gonna have a 1/2 cup of water and 2/3 cup of some milk. And now that the milk and water mixture is at 90 degrees Fahrenheit, we're gonna mix this in.
So it is at this point of the recipe where I have forgotten to add a tablespoon of butter, and I do not realize this until the next day. But you're also going to add a tablespoon of melted butter to this, but otherwise, enjoy.
And you're just going to stir this up till it's all mixed together. Not too much, you're not going to knead it or anything, because we're just mixing this all so all these elements are incorporated. You want it to look something like this. You don't want it to go too crazy. You just want to scrape the sides down and make sure you get as much of that dough incorporated together. And now that you have your dough all nice and mixed up, you're going to grab some plastic wrap and just put it right on top. And we're going to let this ferment for 12 to 18 hours. And you're just going to also cover it with a towel. And this is going to be sitting out and fermenting at room temperature. If you need to go past 18 hours, you're going to put it in the fridge. But for us, we're just going to wait till morning. So we'll see you then, fellers. Welcome back. It's the next day after we started grinding the pork. Now, we're going to take this. It has sit here for a little 18 to 19 hours. I went a little bit. First thing we want to do, ooh, smell that brine. What you want to grab is this, and we're going to pat and dry. It almost looks like it's cooked, but trust me, it's definitely not cooked. The water was cooled down to a room temperature, or just above room temperature. You want to make sure you remove all the mustard seeds off of here, all the rosemary. That's just for the aromatics. Now, once it has been pat dry, we are going to take a good amount of this rub. You may have some left over. That's sprinkling all over. Oh, little chunks of brown sugar. Yeah, on that side, and that side. Make sure you put every inch, nook, and cranny with this nice rub. Now that these have both been seasoned, we're going to leave them at room temperature for 30 minutes. Make sure that flavor penetrates in deep. And also, we're going to make it form a little pellicle. Make it nice for the smoker. So we're going to set this aside, but let's get that smoker turned on. It's been over half an hour, maybe more like 45 minutes. And now these are going on. So we're going to pop these on. Just 1 second here. There we go. We're going to close this before it gets too cold. So we're going to set that at 250 for about, let's say an hour and a half, 2 hours. We'll check in halfway through, make sure it's all good. But now, let's go on with the rest of it. All right, we're back here about an hour and a half to an hour 45 later. Woo! Looking nice and smoky. We're going to turn this off 1 second. Well, fellers, we've taken these off. They're nice going off. They're going to be rested overnight before we cut them up for tomorrow's sandwiches. But in the meantime, it's Creepy Tom. What do you think of the pork?
Looks porky.
That's right, it looks very porky. But, needless to say, we're gonna wait for the next steps.
Why'd you say it then? It was needless to say.
I don't know. And the power of editing will help here. Like this. What are you doing, Boo Boo Bear? All right, we're back the next day, fellers. Whenever you're ready to make your breakfast sandwiches, you're gonna start making the eggs first, and then we'll make the English muffins. So first to this, we're gonna add 6 eggs, and it's fine to add them just right here. It's all gonna be blended up and blitzed, and you can use a food processor. You can do this by hand, whatever you got. It's just very easy to use with the Vitamix, of course. And to those eggs, you're gonna add a ½ cup of cottage cheese. Right, like so. You're gonna add 2 tablespoons of some heavy cream, and then you're just gonna season it with salt and pepper. I personally don't like to go too salty with this, just because there's enough seasoning in the pork that we made yesterday. And just a little bit of black pepper. Freshly cracked or like this, whatever you see fit. And we're just gonna blitz this for about 20 seconds. We don't want it too much, we just want it all to be mixed in together. And if you don't know what a blender looks like, here you go. If you don't know how it works either, apparently. Is this exciting yet? We're gonna add this to our jars. That. We are good for 3 jars, just one's gonna be a little less filled, that's fine. And we are gonna close the lid on these bad boys. Not too tight, just enough, because you don't want things exploding all weird. You don't want things exploding at all, but that's besides the point. Now that these are ready, we're gonna bring these to the sous vide immersion mixer, and we're gonna get this to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Now preheat for a little while, but while we're waiting, let's check out our English muffin dough. Oh yeah. You're gonna lightly flour a workstation here, or a work surface rather, and we're just gonna take our dough here, and we're gonna dump it onto that. It'll come out. It won't come out, so we gotta just quickly grab it. Just get that out there. And now you just want this to relax for another 10 minutes. And just let it rest at this stage. We're gonna just put a little bit of the plastic wrap from last night. We're just gonna put the towel on there. After this is rested for 10 minutes or so, we're gonna take this towel off and this plastic wrap. And we're gonna roll this around 2 centimeters-ish, give or take a little. And you're gonna take a 3-inch cookie cutter, or in my case, a glass that's around 3 inches. And you're just gonna lightly press down like such. And we'll repeat with the rest. Now that we got our English muffins all ready and on a baking tray with parchment paper, we're gonna cover again with our plastic wrap. We're just proofing them for 45 minutes now. So we're gonna keep them covered like so. And we're gonna set these to the side. But in the meantime, our sous vide immersion is ready. So we're gonna put these in here. I'm gonna carefully drop them in. So we're just gonna have this set up like this. I just have it on here because there's air in the jar. So it's just gonna be set down. But you just want enough so it's all covered, and it is all covered like such. So we're gonna let this cook for about 55 minutes. So let's wait while this gets all ready to go. Then we can make our breakfast sandwiches. So it's been 55 minutes for these, so we're just gonna pull them out. And you're just gonna see a nice eggy, I almost dropped that. So I may have up. I forgot to add butter in this recipe, but for today you're just gonna have to deal with a failure of an English muffin, which is fine. What I have here is my very sad attempt, and they don't taste as good. And I really think these eggs are gonna be a hit, so I don't care what you say. Because my name's Cletus and I'm one crazy son of a bitch. I can't put that in. But no big deal. And we're gonna assemble this breakfast sandwich the proper way. All right, fellers. Well, the assembly of the sandwich is quite easy. I didn't get the measurements right for the English muffin, so we're gonna have to do with what we had. So first, you're gonna put your bottom bun down there, of course. Put a little bit of ketchup on there. We're gonna put our egg down there. Some of that pork. I forgot to put this last piece of egg there, so we're just gonna put it on top. On the top bun, we're gonna have a nice spicy aioli sauce. And we're gonna crown our king there. So let's give this a taste here. Bon appetit. Woo! I may have messed up the English muffins quite badly, but damn, that's good. That pork is super seasoned all the way through because we brined it and seasoned on the smoker. Those eggs are super creamy and nice. I think overall this was a successful video. Let me know what you think of this recipe in the comments below. I'm definitely going to be making more of these for the freezer. Well, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know in the comments down below what you want to see next on Cletus Does Cooking, or just in general, any Cletus stuff I'm happy to make. But like I said, I've been Cletus, and this has been Cletus Does Cooking. Bye.